Hi, so we're going to be making this cute little yarn doll that is featured in the book Esperanza Rising. So the things that I need are yarn, a lot, but not this whole thing. I've already made this little doll from this, so this would probably make dolls for a lot of people. And I also used a ruler. You don't have to use a ruler. You could find something that's about this long. There's no important measuring. And a pair of scissors. I have also gotten out a clipboard. And this is going to be important to help you with braiding your doll if you're by yourself. If you're working with a partner, you don't need the clipboard at all. All right. So we're going to begin at the beginning. So first I need 7 strands of yarn that are going to be about 1 foot long, and they're going to tie my doll together. And I just did it this way. I took my ruler and I wrapped it around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then I'm going to grab those scissors and I'm going to cut this end and come down here and cut the other end, and there we go. You could do that all sorts of ways, but there's how I did it. So 7 pieces of yarn. Okay, set those aside. Okay, so for this step you need your book. Apologies, I don't have a copy of Esperanza Rising, so I grabbed Linnea in Monet's Garden. So I'm going to do it with this. And then you need your yarn. I am going to pull out a pretty big wad of yarn to start with. Keep track of the end so you know where it is. Okay, so I'm going to do that step. Okay, so there's my wad of yarn. I didn't measure it. I could, but I didn't want to take the time to do that. So here is about how much yarn I have. Okay, so it fills my 2 hands, and if I need more, I can pull more off of the spool there. Okay, so we can start inside the book. Theoretically, I think you could do this outside the book as well, but this is how I'm going to begin. So I'm going to lay the yarn like I'm making a bookmark, and I'm going to go under and back up 50 times. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and as you go, you can go out here and then just scoot it in. It doesn't need to be super tight, okay? If you're trying to pull it tight, you're going to make it a little hard on yourself. So I'm going to do that till I've gone around 50 times, okay? All right, we're going to skip to that now. And just a quick note, this is why I pulled out the wad of yarn, so that as you are wrapping it, you've got a nice loose bunch that will easily wrap around your book. So this is the step where having this yarn kind of loosely wadded up next to you is going to be a little helpful. And as you're doing this, this little bunch might get a little knotted up. Don't pull too hard on it. If you just kind of shake it out, all right, like that as you go, that whatever little knot you get will come loose if you do it before it's pulled tight. Okay, so if you start to see a knot develop, just take that wad and give it a little shake so you can keep going. I'm thinking this is another good spot for a friend. If you're working with a friend, they can kind of manage your yarn for you while you're wrapping so that you don't get slowed down by knots. And then you can take turns, right? And you can do theirs. So this is a good buddy step. Okay, now I have gone around 50 times. This is what it looks like. The wad of yarn is helpful. I did have to pull a little bit more than that wad that I had pulled out. And this is nice if you've got the whole thing of yarn. We call that a skein. If you've got the whole skein of yarn, it kind of comes out, it spits out from the middle, and it's unwinding in there. So you can pull straight from it. So if you are sharing with somebody, you'd rather get a little too much than not enough to start with, so that you make sure you have plenty of yarn and don't run out. So it is good to be working from the whole thing of yarn in the beginning. So I'm going to cut it, and now I'm going to slide this off the book. My book has a plastic cover on it, so it's a little stubborn, but it's going a little better the second time now than it did my first time. Okay, so as it slides off, I'm going to grab the inside. Okay, get my fingers through there. Oh, wait. Wait just a minute. I can't just pull that off the book. I got to tie it together. Okay, so I stopped. And here's where you're going to use one of those 7 pieces of yarn that you cut at the beginning. And you're going to just lift up that yarn inside the book and feed your new piece underneath. Okay? And we're going to do a tight double knot. This is going to be used a lot in making this doll. And for your tight double knot, it's that over and under up through the whole thing you do to start your shoelace. Pull it tight and do it one more time. Over, under. This comes up underneath and pull tight. There. Now I can slide it off. Okay, so my yarn is off the book. And I'm going to pull it by these strings that are left. So this is going to become the top of the doll's head. And down here on the other end is going to become the doll's body. You'll have one piece that's like a long tail, so you can go ahead and cut that one off and put it to the side. All right, and now we're going to begin. So first thing here is I'm going to make the head. I'm going to grab one of these strings we cut at the beginning, and we're going to go underneath this bunch of yarn we have, keeping these strings you just put on in the book at the top. All right, this goes underneath, and you're going to tie a tight double knot, an inch or so above down from the top. I like to use my fingers for that measure, a couple fingers, right? Tie a tight double knot. This is another spot where if you have a friend helping, they can do the hold the finger down thing for you to make that real tight. But you can definitely do this on your own. It's doable. It's just a good way to have a friend help you. Okay, now the head is ready to go. We can leave these little strings right here. Now we're going to cut apart all of this stuff down at the bottom of our doll. So you're going to get your scissors and just cut through right in the middle. So I'm going to pull a little bit. Find the middle with my scissors and cut through. If you're working with small scissors, I suggest less yarn at one time. Do it in sections. And always remember the sharpest part of your scissors is the part down here close to the screw. So get it way down there and it cuts like butter. Nice and smooth. Alright, so I found a little loop or two here. You want to maybe comb through it with your fingers. And you'll catch the ones that got missed. There are always some that get missed. Alright, but you need everything loose because every bit of this is going to be part of a braid. Alright, so now you have something like this. Separate 12 pieces of yarn here and 12 pieces of yarn there. You can see those are going to become the arms. This is going to become the body. If you're using a clipboard, now you want to take these strings here and clip it really close. I'm going to put the knot just under that clip, and that's going to hold the doll, well, pretty tightly while we're braiding. Okay, whoops, there we go. And now I can pull against it to do my braid. If you're working with a friend can hold those strings instead. So I'm going to braid each arm, divide it into 3 pieces. I just like to feel it. I didn't count it, but you could if you want to. And I did another video on braiding. So if you need help with braiding, you can watch that one. All right. And we're going to do this to both of the arms first. All right. This is another great time to have a friend helping because you're going to take one of your 7 pieces of string from the beginning. We've used a couple of them already. And you're going to be putting it underneath where the wrist of this arm goes. So I'm doing that. And then we're going to tie that double knot again. So if you had a friend helping by holding the hand while you tied the knot, that's terrific. But let's say you're really into this, you're doing it at home, you're by yourself, where you don't have a friend, a binder clip will do. These things are awesome. So just clip that. Whoop. Because I don't have a friend tonight. I'm all alone. And voila, that's going to hold the hand for me. And I'm going to tie that tight. Double knot 1, 2. You have some funky tentacles down here, so you can trim those off now or later. I'm going to do it now. In every case, be careful not to trim too close to this knot. You really don't want short little hands. You could shorten these a bit, but don't go much closer to the knot. It will cause a lot of movement that will make this thing undo itself. And you may see right here, I've got a wild hair sticking out of the elbow. So I'm just going to chop that off. Stuff like that happens. Not to worry now. Who would know? It's gone. My arms are done. Now I'm going to make a torso. We're just going to tie a belt, basically. Another inch or two down. I think you could decide how big you want that to be. And tie your nice tight double knot. I tied my double knot, and I'm just going to let these strings become part of the legs. So just split this into 2 for your 2 legs. I'm going to use a binder clip to keep that leg out of the way while I braid this one. Just spread it into 3 even chunks. I did not count. Again, I did this by feel. So I'm just going to make them feel even. We're going to braid down and tie it off just like the arms. This leg is braided. I'm holding it with a binder clip since I don't have a friend helping me. I hope you do. And I'm going to tie this off. But then again, we could all work at the same time if we have some binder clips. Make 2 knots there. There's your double knot. Okay, go on and do exactly the same thing to the other leg. Ta-da! There you have it. We have 2 arms and 2 legs. So some other things you may want to know if you love doing this and you're by yourself at home, you don't have to have a clipboard. These strings you started with, they could be tied around something. You could tie them around a bedpost or a doorknob. Just make sure nobody opens the door on you while you're working, and that could pull for you while you're braiding. I've also seen a version of this where we don't braid the legs and we leave it like a big skirt. That's pretty cute. You sure could add a lot of stuff to this to make it more decorative and interesting. You could add other color yarn accents, and you could have a lot of fun with this. It makes a great little decoration too idea right there for you. Tie that in a knot and hang it from something. Hope you have a good time with these, and thanks for watching my first ever YouTube video. Bye!